Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you have finished She's the Man at this point, and you've picked up your TAN annotated bibliography packet, your career data worksheet, and also your 16 personalities test notes. The 16 personalities is homework for next Friday, May 6th, but you'll need the other two handouts as we're going through this project today. I do apologize for not being with you all when we're starting a new project, but thanks to technology, you get the joy of listening to me walk you through it anyway. So hopefully this will be helpful so that you can get started on your first few steps, and we'll talk about some of the more intricate details next week when I'm back. So let's go ahead and kind of get started. The career project is something that all of the sophomore English teachers at Olathe Northwest complete because we take your career cruising results, we research and complete an annotated bibliography, and we also complete a presentation at the very end of the semester. And we do all of this because we really feel like it's great prep for all of you for the rest of high school and also for college. Those skills of being able to research and present are really, really valuable. We also feel like, almost more than maybe any other project that you've done for us, this is very relevant to you personally. You are going to be researching three careers that you are actually interested in, so hopefully you learn some things about yourself and about those careers along the way. So, with that said, we're going to go through some specific steps. I will ask you to pause the video a few times and complete some of those steps, so please just follow along and get as far as you can in class today. All right, so the research project itself actually has many very detailed steps going all the way back to your career cruising, researching, annotating, creating an annotated bibliography. We'll talk about the details of that next week, and creating a presentation. Again, we'll talk about the details of that in the future. Today, we are only going to go through the first four steps, and actually, some of you may not even get through all of those, and that's okay. Try to just get as far as you can. So, step one is going to be to revisit our career cruising results. And so, let me talk to you all kind of specifically about that before you go and pause your video to go to career cruising. So throughout this project, you are going to select three different careers to research. And I should preface this by saying that these need to be careers that you are actually interested in someday pursuing and you feel like you could actually do. So I know we would all, love to be million-dollar athletes who are making all this money and have all this fame, but in reality, 99% of us will not do that. So please make sure that you're selecting careers that, again, are actually probably realistic for you. Career cruising comes in because I am going to require at least one of your three total careers to come from your career cruising results that we looked at the end of March. I just think that career cruising is a great resource for you, and I think it's a great starting point. So it could even be like your number 25 match. That's fine, but I want one of those results to come from career cruising that you select. You can certainly do more than one. One is just the minimum. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to ask you to do is on your TAN worksheet at the top right, there's a little bit of space. And when you are ready and you've kind of thought through it, I want you to put down the three careers that you're interested in researching because I'll be checking for that on Monday to kind of see where you're going with this. So you may want to log into the Career Cruising homepage, which looks like this, and check out those results. Again, at least one of the three has to come from there. So pause your video and when you've written down your three career choices that you'll be researching on your TAN sheet, you can continue. All right, step two, now that you've selected those careers, is going to be to actually research. And in sophomore English, it is important for us to teach you to research in an appropriate and an academic way, not just to go out and randomly Google things as much as we all love to do that. So we are going to ask you to have one article per career. So that means you're going to have three articles total. Two of those three articles are going to come from what's called a LibGuide. The third article we're going to talk about next week because you're actually going to have to find that on your own. Today, though, we're going to focus on the LibGuide, and I'm going to show you all what that looks like next. All right, so when you all are researching on your own, you will need to go to this link, which is on your TAN annotated bibliography packet. It's olatheschools.libguides.com/English10. This is a site that the sophomore English teachers and Mrs. Thompson, our librarian, have put together for you to research. Essentially, what we have done is we have taken what we feel are credible and thorough websites about careers, and we've linked them here for you so that you already know three websites that you can use that are appropriate for research. So that's what the LibGuide is. It's essentially just a collection of predetermined websites that we've already screened. So in this case, we have Career Cruising, we have Schmoop Careers, and the Occupational Outlook Handbook. You'll notice some other things on this LibGuide as well that may be helpful to you in the future. So handouts if you forget some stuff. We're going to talk about your personality quiz next week and your lifestyle quiz. But these three are the things I want you to focus on today for your research. So I'm going to walk you all through how specifically you'll be researching each one of your careers. To do that, I'm going to show you an example from the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which is this third website. So I'm going to click that link. You can see it comes up with just kind of a general site. So I'm going to go up here to Search Handbook, and I'm going to type in a career that I think interests me, which is a teacher. You can see that my search results bring up several things on the website. I'm going to pick the one that I think is most relevant to me, which is a high school teacher. When I click that, you can see this website comes up with a ton of great information. So here's a little summary. If you click these other tabs, I get specific duties about a high school teacher. I get the work environment, how to become one, what education and licenses I have to have, what's the pay like. They've even got a little graph here. So lots of great information. So let's say I decide I'm going to use this article and high school teacher is going to be my first career that I'm going to research. So what I need to do is copy the sections that I'm interested in saving. And what I'm going to do is paste those to a blank Microsoft Word document. I would recommend, just for the sake of clarity, that you delete kind of silly stuff like pictures and the links. Oh, I'm even going to click and change my font just so it's a little bit smaller. Let's say I go back to the website. I decide I also want to copy the pay information. That's great. So I could copy that as well. You guys saw just how I did that. The important thing to remember here is that if you are going through different tabs on the same website, it is still, for our purposes, considered one web page. So you still need to just cite it as the same one article. And another important thing to keep in mind is that we can't really just pick and choose what we're going to copy and paste. So if you're going to copy this work environment section, you need to copy the whole thing. Don't just copy one or two sentences. So let's say I've copied what I want to from my Occupational Outlook Handbook. Okay, sorry. Now I'm going to come back to step 3 of our research process, and I'm going to save that article that I copied and pasted because I'm going to need to use that later. So I would recommend saving it to your student drive since we'll be working on it at school. Then I would recommend going to your data worksheet, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, and tracking that article because you are going to be responsible for citing that article in your annotated bibliography, which is essentially an extended works cited page. So I'm going to show you all how I would do that next. Okay, so here on my Career Annotated Bibliography data worksheet, I'm recording the citation information for each source so that later I can go back and plug this information in very easily to my citation. We've even put the information in order for you all, so it should be pretty easy if you fill this out. So the first thing I'm going to fill out is my career that I searched for, just so I can kind of keep track. And I searched for a teacher. Then I'm going to fill out the website that I used, and in this case, I used the Occupational Outlook Handbook, and you can see I'm putting all my stuff in red just to show you all. Next, I'm looking for the author that was that authored my website, and so if we go back to my website, you can see there's not any author information up here, so I kind of look through the rest of the web page, and there's not really anything down here either. That sometimes can happen, particularly on these career websites. So we've put a little note for you. Sometimes that isn't listed and you need to just skip that box. That's really the only box that you should be skipping. Everything else you should be able to find pretty easily on the LibGuide. The next thing I'm looking for is the title of the article or chapter, which typically is the name of the career on the web page. Let's go back and check for mine, and sure enough, it is high school teachers. Even though I'm using these different tabs, the overall name of my article is high school teachers. So I'm going to go fill that in. Next, I'm looking for the title of the resource, which is the name of the website overall. And that's actually going to be the Occupational Outlook Handbook. So I'm going to go fill that in. Whoops. I'm next looking for the name of the institution that's affiliated with the site. Really, that's like the sponsor or the publisher. Sometimes that can be a little bit hard to find, but an easy way to tell is typically if they have like a big logo up here, like the Bureau of Labor Statistics does here. Or you can almost always find it here at the bottom. And it's cutting off a little bit on my screen, but you can see US Bureau of Labor Statistics is here at the very bottom for the publisher. So I'm going to go back and put that in my data worksheet. Next, I'm looking for the copyright or last updated date, and again, that's usually at the bottom. In this case, they have a nice little published date here for me, December 17th, 2015. Whoops. So I'm going to fill out 17 December 2015, just like MLA, it's that weird order. And then finally, I'm going to fill out my access date. So today is April 28th, 2016, so I fill that out. Filling this out is kind of a pain, I know, but will really make your life easier when you're coming back and having to cite all of this information. So go ahead and pause your video and at this time complete steps 2 and 3. Find 2 articles from 2 different sources about 2 different careers, save them, and track them on your data worksheet. All right, when you've completed steps 2 and 3, or if you've completed steps 2 and 3 today, you can begin annotating your articles. The reason we are doing this is because we're trying to pull out the important information that we're going to use in our annotated bibliography in our presentation, which again, I'll talk to you in more detail about later. The things I'm going to ask you to do in your annotations, you're welcome to do on the computer, and so you can do things that we've practiced all year, underlining claims, boxing the various types of evidence. And in this particular assignment, guys, really just mark things that are interesting to you. If a career has a salary listed and that's important to you, mark that. If a career has, working hours listed and that might be important to you in your future, mark that, okay? So once again, we went through steps 1 through 4 in the career project today. You all have your 16 personalities test due next Friday, May 5th, and we will talk about the career project more in detail on Monday. So I will see you all then.